San Antonio Spurs fans were probably never going to be nice to Kawhi Leonard when he eventually returned to the it. The Toronto Raptors star left the Spurs franchise over the summer under inauspicious circumstances following a year of mystery. But now Leonard is a member of a new team, and both parties have to move on. Meanwhile, Leonard's first game against the Spurs at the it. While Spurs diehards chanted for Danny Green during warm-ups, they immediately booed Leonard. San Antonio beat Toronto, 125-107, and after the game Spurs coach Gregg Popovich said that he felt badly for Leonard after fans gave him what for. Popovich and Leonard shared a little moment together after the game that was at least nice to see after how things were left. Via Twitter, DeMar DeRozan had a career night, notching his first triple-double ever on a stat line of 21 points, 14 rebounds, and 11 assists to go along with 2 steals. The goal in New Orleans has not changed: make Anthony Davis happy and keep him on the Pelicans. The odds of reaching that goal seemed to grow longer every day, and with each Pelican loss, but the franchise has not wavered. They will not talk Davis trade no matter who calls. Instead, the Pelicans are burning up the phone lines looking for trades that add talent to the roster. The goal is to win now. That sentiment starts with ownership and Gail Benson, as she told Larry Holder of The Athletic in a fascinating read about her and her life. She talked about the Pelicans and keeping Davis, but if he wants to go, I think they're young, and we're going to invest more money and get the big players and do everything we can to keep Anthony Davis here. I really like what we have in place. I really like Anthony, but if he wants to leave, you can't hold him back. But I always keep in touch with people that we lose, like Benjamin Watson. When he left, I kept in touch with him, and now he's back. And then you understand it. Adrian Peterson too. A lot of people that left. I don't ever hold grudges with people. Even as angry, well, it wasn't so much angry but disappointed as I was with his family. I don't wish anybody harm. I think God takes care of things and he's taken care of that situation. Sources have told me there is zero chance the Pelicans will trade Davis during the season, something coach Alvin Gentry has said publicly and others have reported as well. There was hope in some plush Los Angeles homes that Davis would try to force the issue at the trade deadline and push his way to the Lakers now, but that's not Davis's way. He's not going Jimmy Butler and thrashing a franchise to get what he wants, especially because Davis cares about New Orleans. When Davis does not sign a $239.5 million Supermax contract extension this summer, the Pelicans will be forced to talk trade. The Celtics and Lakers are standing at the front of that line, but a lot of teams want in the conversation, but nothing happens before then. Benson realizes that if Davis wants to go he can, and that will force the Pelicans' hand. Eventually. But she's more at peace with it than most owners would be, and most Pelicans fans are for that matter. When it became clear that the Wizards were willing to break up their dysfunctional core, finally, the attention of other teams focused mostly on Bradley Beal. He was seen as the Wizards' best player, an all-star without the injury history and burdensome contract of John Wall. The Wizards also know he's their best player, which is why they didn't want to give him up, or at least not without a lot in return. Take the Raptors, for example. With Kyle Lowry out, they have checked around to see if they could add some playmaking to the roster, and they checked with Washington about Bradley Beal, only to walk away with a case of sticker shock, according to Sean Devaney of The Sporting News. There's been chatter about the Raptors pursuing Wizards guard Bradley Beal, but Washington wants 2 players and 2 draft picks for him, according to sources. That would cost the team budding star Pascal Siakam and wing OG Anunoby, plus some filler salary and 2 future first-round draft picks. The Raptors already owe this year's pick to the Spurs, and they would have to persuade Washington to take a pick as far out as 2023. First, no way the Raptors do that. Second, this has been the buzz for a while about what the Wizards want for Beal: too good, ideally younger, starter-level players plus 2 first-round picks. If one of those players was an all-star level guy, the other could be lesser. That's why there's no action on the Beal front. No team is coughing that up mid-season. If the Wizards make a big move, it's most likely in the summer. However, the Raptors could make a smaller move to help add some playmaking to the roster. Not long ago, Mike James was the NBA's biggest two-way contract success story, a designation since overtaken by Knicks guard Alonzo Trier. Now, James plays in Italy. How's it going? Eurosport IT, James, got a tooth that's fake and it's been coming out since I got elbowed in Maccabi Sayed and my first reaction was to grab it. https://t.co/pn17rlkw81, Mike James, at @thenatural_05, December 30, 2018. It's hard to imagine a greater disparity between a play less enjoyable to be involved in and more enjoyable to watch. There are a lot of people who just don't like to watch James Harden play basketball. They get that it is effective, you can't deny the numbers. In his last 12 games, Harden has averaged 40.1 points with a crazy good 64 true shooting percentage, plus 9 assists and 6.6 rebounds per contest. He's dragged the Rockets to an 11-1 record in those games, the team up into the playoffs, and himself into the MVP conversation. But it's not graceful, not always fluid. Watching Harden is not like watching Stephen Curry drain 28-foot threes or Giannis Antetokounmpo attack the rim. It's a lot of free throws and isolation dribbling, a lot of flopping and selling calls. Harden is the master at drawing fouls. He swings his arms into the contact and throws his head back to accentuate the blow, but is strong enough to score through the hits. Harden is propelling his current run with threes, averaging 17.2 attempts a game in his last 5, 23 against the Warriors, hitting 43% of them. He pushes the envelope and gets the job done, but it's not the beautiful game. So the critics come out, and it's usually with the complaint, why does he get all these foul calls? Harden responded after he dropped 44 on the Warriors, including a 3 in OT to get the win. James Harden: I got the total package. I get to the basket, aggressive, I shoot my shot, don't foul me on my jump shot. And then you won't have anything to talk about. It's simple as that. Alakan Bajani, @Rockets. Insider, January 4, 2019. James Harden: they talk too much about fouls and not the actual greatness of what I'm really doing on the court. That's what we need to focus on. It's one Antetokounmpo and Kevin Durant and LeBron James and others have as well. Harden is simply the best at it and uses it the most. He forces the contact and makes sure he's fouled. That's part of the game. Harden has grown frustrated in the postseason when the referees let guys play a little more. Last season Harden's free throw rate plummeted by percentage, and he got to the line more than 3 fewer times a game. That's the part of the game Harden must adapt to. Harden's game, however, is much more than fouls. It's the best step back going, even if he travels on it now and again. His hesitation moves are sublime, and he just has an old man at the Y quality to his game that is old school. It's to be appreciated and admired, even if it's not always pretty.